So it means that your role and your teams is not just about providing the technology, but how to use the technology efficiently to attract more people, to engage more people more often with wellness. And of course, before the pandemic, through the Mindbody app, millions of people were directed to book online live classes, in-person classes. Then through 2020, 2021, more online classes, and you could I imagine, your hotline, the telephone inquiries must have been going through the roof on, okay, I thought I didn't need the software, I didn't need the platform, I didn't need that service. Now I need it, and I need it fast. So to help me, train me. And now that they have gone through, I imagine, tens or hundreds of hours producing content, now that they have an inventory of content that they can use, they will be switching from live to on demand, so that the businesses that are already reopening can still welcome people indoors and also provide on demand services. And those that still do not provide on demand and just focus on closing and opening can now reassess their business with your help. It doesn't mean that those that were using online is a fixed number. Others can still join and use
Absolutely.
that.
Yeah, absolutely. And helping the businesses really understand how to get online, what are the things they need to think about when they're producing content, training their trainers. That was one of the big things that was a learning, that somebody might be your top trainer in person might not be the right person to put on video. And so really, working with them to help understand how to engage with their members, how to price classes, because at the very beginning, most people did classes for free, but then they realized, man, we've got the expense for our instructors. Now, how do we want to price that? And it varied based on if you were fully closed or if you had the ability to offer in-person classes. Maybe you had a 50% restriction, so you couldn't let everybody back in. And so as what we have seen, though, is a definite trend is that as in-person becomes more widely available, we do see a drop in the utilization of virtual, which makes sense, because if virtual is the only thing you have available, that's where you're going to be consuming it. And we did see even just recently looking at some of our numbers, we're booking north of 1.6 million consumer bookings per week through the app. So there's good, strong demand coming back in to studios. But to your point earlier, the idea that a lot of these businesses have now created a fairly robust library of on-demand content, we think that persists into the future. Now you have to refresh it, because if people are engaging multiple times a week with virtual content and it's the same workout over and over, then that gets that's not very compelling. So over time that'll have to be refreshed. But we have made it easier for consumers on the Mindbody app to search for on-demand or live streaming classes. And because the topic that everybody's talking about now is just provider availability and the shortage of qualified staff, people that left the industry because of COVID, maybe they went and started doing delivery or working in support or doing different things. Because of the shortage in staff, what we do see is that people have really cut their live streaming. They've focused much more on getting people back in the door, having that in-person experience, reconnecting with their local wellness community. And then and live streaming tends to take a back seat because they're using those same resources to do the in-person classes.
Does it mean that your business is shifting and that of your teams also in helping understand people use all of your services, technologies? We will talk about AI and Bowtie and recommendation. Are they using that fully? The hybrid monetization that is now really going to be almost the norm. There was a time when spas and salons didn't have an online booking system. They thought people would call, and then having a booking engine became the norm for those that were outperforming the others. Now using AI and recommendation is definitely key also to re-engage people and follow them with the CRM. How much of the time of your team is devoted to helping them use technology wisely, efficiently, profitably?
Well, we have a huge customer experience team, and so that spans the gamut from frontline responders that when somebody calls and says, hey, I'm having a problem with doing a transaction or accepting a credit card payment, that's kind of call it your urgent support, that when somebody's coming in, all the way over to something that's more like customer success, which is dedicated people that are helping our customers understand how to unlock more features and get more value out of our software. And so like most SaaS companies, we have an entry-level product all the way up to our top tier products. And at each different phase, you're getting more features, you're getting more functionality. The reality is that takes some training to get people to really understand how to use it. You also know that in this industry, there's a lot of turnover. And so you might just train somebody at the front desk how to use all of the software, or maybe train a manager, and then 6 months later, they're gone. And so we do constant education. We do it through one-on-one training. We do it through webinars. We do it through a lot of our content publications that we do throughout the year. And so that training component is just critical in ensuring that our customers are getting the most value out of the software. And so that could be whether it's virtual, it could be how to sell gift cards during the holidays. That's a very important one, especially as we're coming up on the holidays right now. And so we offer that gamut of support across all of our customers. And then as we get into the AI ML side of things, there's definitely configuration that has to happen in order for that to be as powerful as it can be. And we can talk about that in a bit.
Absolutely. Well, let's jump right into how artificial intelligence is really powering the fitness and wellness sectors, and how you are harnessing this AI HTML into actually delivering more recommendations, more cross-selling, more upselling.
Yeah. So if you think again about Mindbody as B2B and B2C, and how AI ML interfaces on those is fairly different. So on the B2B side, what we think about is how to automate processes, things that people have to go in and they have to run reports and they have to read reports and they have to do a bunch of analysis. Things like, think about class scheduling or pricing or utilization or how to fill those seats, or even communications. And so that's an area that on the B2B side, we really apply AI ML. One of the first things that we did with our AI ML team was think about what we call smart subject lines. So when you create an email campaign to go out to your customers, you might put in a particular subject line. On the back end, we run a process where we'll come back and recommend other subject lines that we think will have higher open rates. And so it can be at that granular of a level. And we've seen great success with that type of a product. Another area would be within reporting. If you're running a business, you have dozens of reports, but what are the insights in the reports? What's that data telling you? And across, millions of bookings and, pricing structures and so forth and services, we're in a very unique position to be able to tell a business, hey, your 7 a.m. class is always overfilled. You could possibly raise your price on that. But your 10 a.m. class only has 3 people in it. And, either you need to drop your price to fill more, or maybe that's a class you should cancel. And so those are the kind of insights that we can proactively provide to businesses through the AI ML. On the B2C side, a lot of that right now is more about personalization. So when you come in and you register for our app, we will take you through kind of an onboarding process where, we learn more about you. We see what you're searching for on the back end. We see what you have booked. We know what's in the area that you typically go have your services. And so we can then feature more suggestions for you based on those configurations. I think over time, what we're going to see is a lot more of the connected devices, the Whoops and the Oura Rings and the Apple Watches and the Fitbits and everything, capturing more information, and that information becoming much more centralized. And that then will drive additional recommendations. It might be recommendations about, seeing somebody's biorhythms and their heart rates and their blood pressure and saying, hey, you know what, you need a meditation class. I looked at your Outlook calendar and you have a 3 o'clock slot available. I booked you in for a virtual, meditation class. It literally can get to that type of level of being that prescriptive, or of nutrition. If you're off on your weight goals, for instance, And you have indicated that you want to get personalized nutrition advice. That could be something that could also be powered either through customers, through our business customers that are in the nutrition space that are sending that content to you, or through a library that we might create or partner with.
You say this could be, is this near future, very near future? Is this already something you are ready to roll out as one of
not
the
something that
leading
we're
wellness
ready to
companies?
roll out, but this is near future, as in kind of the next 2 to 3 years. Certainly on the B2B side, we're already doing a lot of this. The personalization on B2C is there, but the recommendations about nutrition or about booking, into a particular class. Frankly, the technology's there, but just being able to actually have the full end-to-end, taking that product to market and, developing some of the other interfaces that we might want to have beyond what we've done already with Apple and Google is probably what that would take to make that a bit more of a compelling offering.
Am I reading between the lines that Mindbody as a wellness giant is going after becoming a lifestyle management company to help people live longer, happier, healthier?
Well, that's, if you go back to our purpose, it's helping people lead healthier and happier lives by connecting the world to wellness. And that has both a B2B and a B2C angle. And so that's what we're absolutely doing that. And as we talked about earlier, we've been doing it for over 20 years now. And really the exciting thing and what keeps me going is the amount of opportunity that keeps unfolding in the wellness space, because the definition of wellness 20 years ago is not what the definition is today. And through all of the work at GWS and GWI that market is north of $4 trillion now, depending upon how you define it. We talk a lot at Mindbody about the 7 dimensions of wellness and how we can support each one of those dimensions, whether it's through content or whether it's through our businesses that are offering their inventory online or through other partnerships. And I think that, during COVID, this wellness awakening that's happened is really going to bring more people into wellness because maybe they're not thinking about it just through the lens of fitness. Think about mental health now. Like that topic 10 years ago was a really taboo topic. And now there are dozens of companies that are serving it and hundreds of millions of dollars of funding that is going into mental wellness. And so those are some of the areas where, we're really excited about thinking about it. Maybe there's somebody that we could partner with in that space that, enables us to bring that functionality into the Mindbody consumer base, but then also have the Mindbody consumer base be able to, access those businesses. And perhaps that's another, area of opportunity for us over time.